Thank you for joining me for another episode of Spiritual Prism, where we discuss everyday issues through the prism of God's Word. I have titled today's discussion, Tired of Doing Good, because it seems like in today's society, it's easier to do poorly instead of good. It seems as if it's easier for people to be rude rather than nice, or to do a second-rate job instead of a first-class job. So that has led me to this question. Are people tired of doing good because kindness and being nice can be taken for weakness and they don't want to be considered weak? Or do they maybe have a grievance with a coworker or a boss and therefore do subpar work? We have all had our days when we didn't act or do as good a job as we could have. There are many instances when we should be doing good. I just use these two because I think they're at the top of the list for when we may fall short of doing good. I have seen some of the nicest people turn to some of the meanest when something didn't go the way they wanted, and I will be the first to admit I have acted poorly when things didn't go how I assumed they would as well. I have even heard people say, "Why should I do it the right way when so-and-so does it the wrong way and gets away with it?" I mean, who hasn't got upset when they do something right and suffer and someone else does it the wrong way and prospers? I believe a lot of times it is these types of situations that get us feeling like we are tired of doing good. I have a scenario I've come up with to help illustrate the point. It's one of those good nights and you're sleeping good, but the next thing you know, your alarm clock doesn't go off for work and you're running behind. You quickly get dressed and run out the door. No breakfast, no coffee, or if you're like me, tea, and start your journey to work. As you're traveling to work, you decide there is just enough time to grab something quick for breakfast and to get your morning dose of caffeine. The drive-thru is backed up, or maybe there is no drive-thru, so you have to go inside. You order your food and wait to pick it up. They call you up and you quickly grab your order and head for the door. Just as you get to the door, you look inside the bag and notice it's not what you had ordered. You go back to the counter and let them know that they had given you someone else's order and ask if they have the right one. They look around for your order and realize they gave it to someone else and they have already left. The attendant looks at you with a smile on their face and says, "We will remake that for you right away." You politely say, "That's fine, but can you make it quick? I'm in a hurry." "Sure," they say. "What was it that you ordered again?" You reorder, and they make your drink right away. Then you wait for the egg and ham croissant you ordered, with no cheese. You start tapping your foot because your inner time clock is saying, "Let's go, let's go, let's go." You need to get to work. Finally, they come out, hand you the bag, and say, "Here's the ham, egg, and cheese croissant you ordered." You say, "No, I ordered it without cheese." Now you are super frustrated, borderline angry, but keep it under control and say, "That's fine, I'm in a hurry, I can deal with the cheese." You grab the bag and turn to make a dash for the door when someone runs right into you and knocks the drink and food out of your hand and it ends up in a wet mess on the floor. Then the person that ran into you looks at you with hate in their eyes and says, "Why don't you watch where you're going?" What happens next? Are we tired of doing good and let them know in a not-so-nice way they ran into us and let it ruin our day? Or do we take a deep breath and say to ourselves, "Lord, give me the strength," and try to handle it in a good way? I wish I could say that I would always take that deep breath and look to the Lord. But in reality, I know at some point I will and have chose the wrong way. I have also chosen the right way many of times, but there have been those days when I didn't take a breath because I wasn't thinking about doing what was good. I was just over being patient, accepting, and doing good. Galatians 6:7-10 says, "Don't be misled. You cannot mock the justice of God. You will always harvest what you plant. Those who live only to satisfy their own sinful nature will harvest decay and death from that sinful nature. But those who live to please the Spirit will harvest everlasting life from the Spirit. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessings if we do not give up. Therefore, whenever we have the opportunity, we should do good to everyone, especially to those in the family of faith." We are all human and will ultimately fall short at times, but we have to try our hardest to do what is good. Thanks be for the grace of God that when we do fall short, He allows us to refocus on Him and try again. If we get caught up in the moment and succumb to our fleshly nature, the Bible tells us we will end up reaping what we sow. But if we live to please the Lord and do not get tired of doing what is good, we will reap a harvest of blessings at just the right time. I don't know about you, but I sure want to reap blessings, and I'm sure that you do too. It may not be the easiest thing for us to always be good, but I believe that for the most part, most of us want to. So in closing, I want to say that yes, at some point we may grow tired of doing good because we are all human and no one is perfect. But if we can remember at those times to take a deep breath and get our focus back on what Jesus would want us to do, we won't miss out on the harvest of blessings that He has planned for us because we didn't give up. Thank you for listening to another episode of Spiritual Prism, and until next time, remember, whenever we have the opportunity, we should do good to everyone, and especially to those in the family of faith. So let's not get tired of doing what is good, so we can harvest those blessings at just the right time.